Hey guys, KRX here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the ToQ Ressha 12 Ressha Gattai Deluxe Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh from Ressha Tei ToQ. This is the final mech for the ToQ, which is a large Ressha that can transform between 3 modes and combine with other ToQ Ressha. So this includes two things, a big Hyper Ressha and a small Hyper Ressha. So we'll take a look at the small one first. So you've got the small Hyper Ressha here. This one is similar to the one that was released with the deluxe Dai cannon, but has a bit more to it. Still gold plastic with some black, white, and red paint apps. Comparing it to the original version, you can see they are pretty similar, and while you really can't tell much on camera, the one that comes with the Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh has a slightly deeper color to the gold plastic. It has a little bit more paint in the form of metallic gold around the front light here and right below it. You'll also notice that they have the same kind of seam lines. And for this version, they're actual seams, whereas on this one, they're just parts molded into the plastic. Or rather, ridges molded into the plastic. And so this one, it can transform a little bit. There's a joint that rotates like this, and one that rotates like this, and both will be used, though not together, at different points during the video, for some of its different modes. So next we have the big one, the large Hyper Ressha. So as you can see, this is the biggest Ressha in the line, and it really dwarfs all the others. And this is quite different, as this is, a full-blown mech that is, just on its own. It doesn't have compatibility with the other items like this one does. So you can see the entire thing is based off a steam locomotive. In front you have the boiler tank, headlight, the TQG emblem for the ToQers. On each side it has a pair of twin guns. You have the train wheels down here. And on the bottom it has just these 5 wheels. However, it can still roll quite well. You've got these black parts on the inside, and there are some gaps if you look at it from the back, but that is because of the transformation. And then you also have a bunch of gold detailing on the top. And speaking of the top, you can actually take the smaller Hyper Ressha and place it in this little cavity right here to complete the look. Now this doesn't lock in place, it just rests here. So it does wheel around a little bit, but it's not going to fall off and will stay in place while moving it. So the next thing we can do is to transform it. The first thing you can do is to transform it into a terminal. So to do that, you have a level right here. You want to hold that, then pull up on this part, and rotate it all the way back, like this. And take these parts, rotate them out, and there you have the Hyper Ressha terminal. Now, one problem here with my filming situation is that this is very long, so I'm going to have to kind of lift up the camera a little bit so you can see the full length of it. There are some new details revealed here, most notably being all the different rails on it. Where we zoom in on the back part and see a kind of design of the terminal with some windows and a clock up here. And for those who can't read, an analog clock like this, the time on this is actually 7:30, You know, another one of those times with Super Sentai toys where they have 7:30 there because it's the time when Super Sentai shows air in Japan on Sunday mornings. So that's a neat little detail. So of course, with this being a terminal, you can use the other ToQ Ressha with it. So we can take the main 5 Ressha that form ToQ and place them on the rails. Just like this. Now these don't lock into place, but they do rest fairly well. Unfortunately, even though there's a ramp here, because of the length of the cars, you can't really have them kind of drive off. Because they don't really slide off, they just kind of hit the ground and then slide from there. And you can also use other Ressha with this formation, but I'm just kind of doing what the instructions show and what is the basic formation used in this mode. So then we can transform it to its robot mode. So to do that, we need to turn it back into your Hyper Ressha. So fold in the arms, fold switch, and fold all the way back, just like this. Then what you're going to want to do is stand it up and turn it around. And moving up here, take the smaller Hyper Ressha, hold up this part to reveal the face, and place it on top. And there you have Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh. So this is a very simple transformation, and it is, what people would describe as a brick. And that is something I won't deny. The only articulation here is that you can rotate the arms to this point, at which it gets blocked by the wheels. That being said, it still has some nice details. You can actually see that despite not actually having a divide, they did create detail to show the separation of the legs. Also got the chest piece, which is made up of various locomotive wheels, and the face that's hidden underneath the Hyper Ressha. Now what you'll notice is that it is recessed a little bit, and that's so you can still use this with the ToQ changer without damaging it. And of course, being in Hyper Ressha, it does have the same sounds as the previous one, so if you want to see the sounds for that, you can watch my review of the Daikai 10 Cannon. Now obviously this would be a little bit disappointing if this was the only thing it could do. Just transform into the terminal and then this rather blocky robot that doesn't do much. But like I said at the beginning, this can combine with other ToQ Ressha, specifically Red Ressha through Build Ressha, plus Shield and Drill Ressha. So we'll need to once again turn into the terminal. However, this time, you can see that there are these 3 levers here. What you want to do is pull them back, which will raise up these connectors. And so then you'll take the front parts of the Ressha and put them onto the connectors. And there is a specific order for that. So, you got Red Ressha here. Then Blue Ressha. Then Green Ressha. Which are up here. You have yellow and pink Ressha on the upper shoulder connectors. And for the lower arm connectors, you have diesel Ressha and build Ressha. Moving down, we'll next place car carrier and tank here and here. And for these two on the outside, you have police and fire. Then finally, place shield here and drill here. Next thing to do will be to fold in this part and press this button and lift the entire thing up. But standing up like that. And then gotta move that back. Have to move the camera up here. Same thing to do. Go around to the back, rotate this part 180 degrees, fold it up like that to form the head, and finally take the Hyper Ressha, rotate this part around like this, then connect it onto the back. And there you have the final combiner robot, ToQ Rainbow. So as you can see, this thing is very tall. Once again, I'm going to have to lift up the camera to give you guys a full view of the robot itself. As you can see, it is very colorful with all the Ressha attached. Though it does have the same articulation as Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh, being just the arm rotation. Up here we can see the new face revealed, which has some metallic blue and metallic green paint to it, as well as a silver face. Another thing you can do is that you can take what were the guns for Hyper Ressha and the arms of Hyper Ressha Tei-Oh, and then connect them to the arms to form arm cannons. They'll just clip in right there and right there. Just like that. So, yeah, size-wise, this is very impressive. And personally, I do like it. I like that it takes all the different Ressha and combines them. And while this does have some leftover parts, that is understandable to the design, since this is basically the terminal mode standing up. But I still like it. It's a very nice display piece. Though I know that there are a lot of people that have problems with this. And now here comes the one downside to this. It is very big and thus very pricey. And despite its price, it has no electronics, which is, I think, the big downside of this. For something this big and this expensive, I think they could have been able to work in some engineering of some kind of electronic sounds somewhere within this. Just because there's definitely the room for a battery compartment and a speaker and some kind of like switches or wires. Instead what we get is, in two modes a brick, and in two modes either very long or very tall. But I think for those who have been collecting the various ToQ Ressha, this is a nice way to finish off the line. Now, obviously, if you're going to be getting this, what I would say is do not buy it for the standard retail price, because I do think that's too much. And especially because it's big, it comes in a big box, that means the shipping's got to be a lot. So what I would suggest is if you want to buy this, try to get it for quite a bit lower than the original price, which is around $120. So, if you knew that and try to get it like this itself without shipping for under $100, then I'd say go for it. Especially if you have a lot of ToQ Ressha. And you don't exactly have to do this formation. You can mix and match and create your own different versions of ToQ Rainbow. And also, create various displays with the Hyper Ressha terminal. Since you can place a lot of these on them, since as you can see they do fit like this here, and that means they can similarly fit like that in the terminal mode. So, like with the other Ressha, there are still some creativity you can get. Not so much to the actual forms of the robots, but to the details of it. So, if you like this thing, if you want to get this, and you find it for a reasonable price, then I definitely say pick it up. Now, this is not the last ToQ review. This will be the last, of the main mechs, but I do have a little bit of catch-up to do. So, you'll be seeing those soon. But, as for the main mechs, I would say I do like ToQ. It's something that I was a little bit iffy about at first, but I eventually got to enjoy it. I liked the way that, as I've said in previous reviews, with the way the limb swapping works, instead of replacing colors by bringing only segments of the arms or legs, you're adding colors to it. So it makes them more unique, and you can also mix and match to create some fun combinations. So I definitely enjoyed this. And I hope that for anybody else who has been collecting ToQ toys, that they enjoy them too. And I certainly hope that for anybody who gets this, they enjoy it as well. So, thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Check out my channel for more videos, as well as my Facebook page, facebook.com/KRX50. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.